Now, in a historic shift away from neutrality, both Finland and Sweden have taken steps towards joining NATO. The move is prompted by concern for their own security in the wake of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. But there is one problem. NATO member Turkey could use its veto power to block the expansion.
It's a radical break with the past, one that was almost unimaginable just months ago. In Finland's capital Helsinki, Prime Minister Sanna Marin announced the country's decision to apply to join NATO after decades of non-alignment.
We have reached today an important decision in good cooperation between the government and the President of the Republic. We hope that the Parliament will confirm the decision to apply for NATO membership during the coming days. It will be based on a strong mandate.
Finland shares a border of over 1,000 kilometers with Russia. After Russia invaded Ukraine, public opinion, based in part on fears that its eastern neighbor would do the same to Finland, moved strongly in favor of joining NATO. This happened as foreign ministers from the military alliance's member countries met in Berlin. NATO's Secretary General appeared at that meeting via video link. He welcomed Finland's decision and encouraged Sweden to follow.
This would be an historic moment. Their membership in NATO would increase our shared security, demonstrate that NATO's door is open and that aggression does not pay.
The meeting's host, German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock, added an enthusiastic note.
Sweden and Finland, if you're ready, we are ready. Vielen Dank.
Soon after, Sweden's Prime Minister answered the call.
Russia's unprovoked invasion of Ukraine is not only illegal and indefensible, it also undermines the European security order that Sweden builds its security on. As a member of NATO, Sweden will not only achieve more security, but also contribute to more security.
One potential problem, Turkey has expressed reservations about letting the two Nordic countries join. Ankara blames them for sheltering Kurdish activists that Turkey considers enemies of the state. There should be absolute security guarantees here. This is not just about two candidate countries, but also about allied states who need to stop supporting terrorist organizations. But officials said they were certain those differences could be resolved quickly. Meanwhile, nothing will change right away. The Finnish parliament must ratify the decision, and the NATO application process could take up to a year.
And we can cross straight to Brussels now and speak to our correspondent there, Christine Mundua. Hi, Christine. Can you walk us through what still needs to happen before Finland and Sweden officially apply to join NATO?
Good morning, Anya. So effectively, NATO membership needs the unanimous approval of all of the alliance's 30 members. And what that means is that every single member state has to go to their parliament and have that ratified. And this is why this process could take up to months. For his part, the NATO Secretary General said both Sweden and Finland would be welcomed with open arms, that the accession process would be quick. But in reality, it does look like it would take at least a few months before all those processes, those formal processes, can conclude in each member's parliament.
So it's going to take a while if everyone agrees, but how likely is it that Turkey could veto Finland and Sweden's membership bid?
Well, Turkey's opposition does pose a serious threat, and as we've just heard in the report there does seem to be confidence among the other member states and allies. For example, the Secretary General said he was confident that they would find common ground and reach consensus over the matter. But of course, because NATO membership requires the unanimous approval of every single member state, if Turkey doesn't come to the table, that could effectively put a stop to this process.
Now, if Finland and Sweden do officially apply to join NATO, other countries have already made security assurances to the two nations. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
That's right. So NATO has this principle of if you attack one member, you attack every single of all the other members, right? An attack on one is an attack against all. that principle would not apply to Sweden and Finland until they become members of the alliance. So any security guarantees could not come from the alliance as a collective, but that member states would have to step up and do that. So, for example, the United States, as well as the United Kingdom, have stepped up forward. This was when it was very clear that both Nordic countries were seriously considering NATO membership. For example, a British official said it was unthinkable that Britain wouldn't come to either one of these countries' defense in the event that they did come under attack. For their part, they are thinking that this will provoke Russia to perhaps target them with cyber attacks or hybrid attacks targeted specifically, propaganda campaigns at Russian minority ethnic communities in their countries. So that is the concern. And the United States and the United Kingdom, two member states that have really come out and said that they would support both these countries in the event of any such.
DW's Christine Mundwo in Brussels. Thank you so much. Now, in other developments in the Ukraine conflict, Ukraine has accused Russia of dropping phosphorus bombs on the Azovstal steel plant in Mariupol. Images of the alleged attack were released by a pro-Russian separatist commander. The use of white phosphorus is not banned under international conventions, but human rights groups have called for it to be outlawed because of the severe burns that it causes. The Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says negotiations on saving Ukrainian troops defending the Azovstal plant are at a complicated and delicate phase. Ukrainian sources say some 1,000 people are holding out at the site more than 80 days after the invasion started. They're refusing to surrender to Russian forces.